Welcome to Hazard Communication, created and produced by The Training Factor and SHB Consulting Services. Safety is sometimes ignored, that is, until a situation or accident occurs. A single safety violation can kill or injure people and bankrupt a business, both large and small. According to U.S. Secretary of Labor Hilda Solis, exposure to hazardous chemicals is one of the most serious threats facing American workers today. The following statistical information will help you understand who OSHA is and why it is important for employers and employees to know and follow the Hazard Communication Standard. There are over 43 million workers who produce or handle hazardous chemicals in more than 5 million workplaces across the country. There are an estimated 650,000 existing chemical products, with hundreds of new ones being introduced annually. This carries a serious risk of exposing workers and their employers. Exposure to chemicals may cause or contribute to many serious health effects, such as heart ailments, sterility, cancer, burns, rashes, and damage to the central nervous system, kidneys, and lungs. Some chemicals may also pose direct safety hazards and have the potential to cause fires and explosions and other serious accidents. What is a hazardous chemical? A hazardous chemical is any chemical or mixture of chemicals that may harm you physically or may pose a hazard to your health. Chemicals pose a wide range of health hazards, such as irritation, sensitization, and carcinogenicity, and physical hazards, such as flammability, corrosion, and reactivity. What is the purpose of the Hazard Communication Standard, or HAZCOM? OSHA's Hazard Communication Standard, HAZCOM, 29 CFR 1910.1200, also known as the Right to Know Law, is designed to ensure that hazards of workplace chemicals are evaluated and that information on the hazards and protective measures is disseminated to employers and employees. All employers with hazardous chemicals in their workplaces must prepare and implement a written hazard communication program and must ensure that all containers are properly labeled. Employees are provided access to SDSs. All potentially exposed employees take an effective hazard safety training program. Labels. OSHA's realignment with GHS has brought about extensive changes and requirements to labels. Chemical manufacturers, importers, and distributors must provide a label that includes the product identifier, supplier information, which is to include name, address, phone number of manufacturer, importer, or distributor, the signal word, pictogram, and hazard statement for each hazard class and category, precautionary statements. They are also responsible for ensuring all labeling is in accordance with Appendix C of 1910.1200, which mandates certain hazard information. The hazard class and associated hazard category for the hazardous chemical shall be prominently displayed in English. Other languages may also be included if appropriate. It is important to note that chemicals produced and shipped under HCS 1994 require color coding labels with numbers, but do not require the use of pictograms, specific signal words, or precautionary statements. The employer may use signs, placards, process sheets, batch tickets, operating procedures, or other such written materials in lieu of affixing labels to individual stationary process containers, as long as the alternative method identifies the containers to which it is applicable and conveys the information required to be on a label. The employer shall ensure the written materials are readily accessible to the employees in their work area throughout each work shift. The employer is not required to label portable or secondary containers into which hazardous chemicals are transferred from labeled containers, and which are intended only for the immediate use of the employee who performs the transfer.